So, Zach, this group, there's a lot of guys, and this is a good thing. This is a good thing because last year you didn't have a lot of guys, and man,
that's the biggest take from this year and last year.
You worked Mekhi Wingo and Jay Roy to death. I mean, you worked them like crazy. I mean, they would like what
Mekhi Wingo had the most snaps of a defensive tackle in the entire country.
Dude, what he did last year, as much as he played, and for him to play as well as he did, was very impressive. Very impressive. So I am excited for this depth, Zach.
Yep.
What were you about to say?
I was saying now he has help. Now he can get some rest now, man.
Right, yeah. And keep him energized so he can play even better. Because, he was a freak his freshman year at Missouri, and he was great last year. What can he do with some rest now here at LSU? And now he's a vet. I mean, he's a vet of vets. So, Zach, obviously you got 4 spots. Who are your 4 starters? Let's just start there.
Well, I'm not going to base it off yesterday because, as I mentioned, Mekhi Wingo's kind of deal with a small injury, nothing to worry about.
Sure.
I fully believe, though, you are going to see Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo in the middle. I think,
no doubt.
I think Savion Jones, who had a really strong season last year, is going to be your defensive end, and then Ovie Oghoufo is your jack, and he's got a lot of experience. And he's a guy that kind of looks like. When you think about, I'm going blank. Who was our jack last year? I know his name.
Harold Perkins, B.J. Ojulari.
B.J. Ojulari. Thank you. Good grief. I don't know why I couldn't think of his name. You think of B.J. Ojulari. They're not exactly the same, but Ovie Oghoufo fits that mold, right?
Yeah.
And there's other guys there that are going to play in those roles, and other guys that are going to rotate at different positions. But as you said, Reagan, the biggest thing now is depth. And I think with those starting 4, having depth, they're going to be able to excel even more because they're going to be rested and healthy whenever they come back into the game. I think it's those 4 for me, Reagan.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. I got Savion and Ovie on the edges. Ovie is a veteran as well. He played at Notre Dame for BK, he played at Texas, and now he's here at LSU. Lots of football under this guy's belt. Really excited to see what he can do here in his final year for the Tigers. I think he's going to put on for his draft year, and I'm excited about him. There's no question. I think the scariest part of this defense, well, that's kind of hard to say with Omar and Harold behind them. Yeah. But Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo up the middle, is dangerous. It's dangerous, man.
I mentioned earlier, good luck running sideline to sideline on this team.
Jeez.
Hey, good luck running up the middle,
man. Jeez Louise.
Good luck. Them big boys in the middle going to stuff it on the inside, and then you're going to have Omar Speights and Harold Perkins roaming the outside. You better be able to pass. You better be passing the ball. You better be passing the ball.
Dude, with Mason, his freshman year was amazing. And last year he was poised for an amazing sophomore campaign. Unfortunately, you lose him on the first freaking drive of Florida State with a torn ACL. Man, that was brutal. And I think he is hungry to come back and wreak havoc. And he is going to be a problem. He is a freakish size, freak athlete. I am so pumped about him. So I think we agree on our 4 starters, Zach. But, look, there's so many guys behind them. We need to talk about, who's also going to make an impact because there's going to be other guys that make an impact. Just off the top of my head, Zach, in terms of the edge, you have a true freshman in Deshaun Womack, who is a 5-star, can make an immediate impact. You got Quincy Wiggins, who dealt with an injury and redshirted last year, who was a top recruit as a high school there. And from all implications coming out of fall camp is Womack and Quincy Wiggins look explosive. Like they are there to play. So in terms of the edges, you've got guys who can come in behind them alongside Jackson Howard, who was a top 100 recruit last year as well.
Yep.
I think Jackson Howard would be a great fit for the Jack spot, a great fit for that position. So, I mean, that's 3 guys behind 2 we've already named that are really good, Zach. Who's going to be in the middle that can make an impact as well behind them with, I mean, because it's loaded, man. I mean, you got like, I feel like you got like 9 guys who can really make an impact.
I mean, think about this.
Guys.
Jacobian Guillory is a backup.
Yeah.
Jacobian Guillory is a backup. Like, that dude's starting on who knows how many teams.
Yeah.
On any other team. And he's a backup. He's going to be a rotational piece.
Yep.
For this team. Guys like you got the transfers like Jordan Jefferson, and Jalen Lee. Obviously, both of those
really
guys, those are guys that had big roles on their past teams, and those guys are going to be rotational pieces. Like, this isn't okay. Here's our starters, and then here's our backups. Like, here's our starters, and then here's our second group of starters. Like, that's kind of what it feels like, right?
Right.
Like here's our starters. They're A++. And then here's our other starters. They're A+, right? Like that's what it feels like with this defensive line. So, like, man, they're going to be athletic. They're going to be fast. They're going to be big. They're going to be run stopper. Like, I have full confidence that LSU is going to be able to stop the run. It would be surprising to me if we have issues stopping the run. I think the biggest thing for me, is can we get more pressure on the quarterback?
Got to.
And I think, that may be an area of concern out of this group.
Got to be better.
But I think with the additions that you've made, and obviously, you're going to have Harold Perkins that's going to come up and play some jack in some situations. Like, that's dangerous.
I mean, in reality, Zach, Harold and BJ was your pass rush last year.
They were your pass rush.
That was your pass rush.
That was it.
I mean, you got
to get more pressure. You got to get more pressure on the quarterback outside of just Harold Perkins. Savion Jones is going to have to get pressure. Mason Smith and Mekhi Wingo up the middle are going to have to get get penetration. You're going to have to get penetration. You're going to have to suffocate quarterbacks, and that's going to take a group effort. It can't be just 1 or 2 guys. It's going to take a group effort. And so the biggest thing for this unit is going to be, can they generate pass rush up the middle and outside all together as a whole unit? That's going to be the biggest question mark for me with this team going into next season.
Zach, what's crazy is we named all these guys, and we still didn't name 2 of the transfers. We didn't even name Braden Swinson and Paris Shan, man, from Oregon and Arizona.
And Paris Shan is very likely your backup to Savion Jones at the defensive end spot.
Sure. I mean, man, and Swinson in the spring game saw him a lot. I saw him a lot bringing pressure. Which,
I mean, he's gonna be another jack, that kind of rotates there with Ovi. So, again, like Braden Swinson, Paris Shan, like, those are your backups. Like, those guys are really good.
It is going to be really, really awesome to see how Matt House and whoever is at defensive line right now. It's Yannick. We don't know all the details with Jimmy Lindsey and what's going on with his family and the health issues. But he's obviously not with the team right now. Our prayers and our thoughts go out with them. But whoever's running the defensive line and Matt House, it's going to be really interesting to see like what they can do because there is so many guys. I mean, you could run a group out there and switch the whole group, boom, and have another set and switch the whole group, boom. Like, you could have 3 sets of guys and just, hammer home. And then, if you're obviously you're not going to do that all the time. You're not going to switch all 4 guys out, but there's so many options you can do. You can go big, you can go small and fast. It is amazing what they have done in the portal and in in high school recruiting to put together this unit, and it is far more improved and vastly improved from last year. When you literally, it was, once Mason went down, it was Jay Roy, Wingo, and Guillory, and like that felt like it was it. It was it there, and BJ and Ali, and then Savion, and then that was it. Like it was like you had 6 guys total, and you're running 4 out there, so you got 2 subs.
Yeah.
Now you're talking you could run 2 whole other units out there in terms of whatever you want to do, whether you want to go small, whether you want to go big and stop the run, and if you want to go small and fast and attack the quarterback. There's so many options you can do with this group. It's going to be versatile. Not only is it going to be talented and there's going to be depth, but it's because of that, you're going to be versatile in what you can do in terms of scheme. So I'm really excited to see that. I mean, Zach, just to think about it here for a second, we named our 4 starters: Savion, Smith, Wingo, Ovi. Then you got Braden Swinson, Parashan, Quincy Wiggins, Deshaun Womack, Jalen Lee, Jordan Jefferson, and then Jacoby and Gilroy. Taji, I mean, that's 12 guys. That's
did you mention? Did you mention Braden Swinson already?
Yes.
Jackson Howard.
They didn't mention Jackson Howard. That's 13. So like, it is a lot of talent, lots of guys that can do lots of different things, and I think, Zach, it is your deepest group on the entire team in terms of talent and guys who can give you meaningful minutes on the field. To me, and Jalen Lee. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't know. But it's like 13, 14 guys for real.
I mean, outside of that, maybe running back. I mean, it's probably between those 2 groups.
Yeah, I mean, running back is right there with it. But like, I mean, major impact, meaningful minutes. I think D-line has the deepest, most talented group on the team. That is my opinion. And I'm kind of looking to see that this year and how that unfolds on the field, because I have high expectations, because last year, like, we were pleased with what they did, but there was so much more that we could have done had Mason Smith not gone down. Had you had some more depth this year,
somebody else had emerged.
Dude, like, Zach, think about it with me. Like, you think about what Matt House was able to do and the adjustments he was able to make.
Yeah.
And now think about what he can do with all of that. I mean, you're talking like if a team is playing you a certain way, okay, we can go with this personnel now to stop this, like at halftime. Like, we
didn't have that option last year.
You didn't have that last
year. You didn't have the ability to swap out personnel.
Correct.
To adjust to the style of play that the offense was giving you.
Yeah, correct. And now you absolutely have that in every way. In every way. You have numbers and you have talent, and I am super excited about this group. I think it is your most talented and your most deep group on the team. So, Zach, do you have anything else to add to it?
I think that's it, man. I am excited. The only thing I think I'll mention here at the end is, I want to see what the younger guys do. I want to see how big of an impact the younger guys make, like Jackson Howard, like Quincy Wiggins, Deshaun Womack. I think those 3 guys, Quincy, Jackson Howard, Deshaun Womack, I want to see all 3 of them make some big impacts. I won't say major, but I want to see them do some things when the other guys are out that you're like, oh, wow, like the future's bright for us there, right?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. I want it. It's a stat, as you said, it's a stack room. It's talent field. Let's show that talent from our 1s all the way down to our 3s, right? Yeah. I want to see that all the way through and through.
I'm really curious, like Quincy Wiggins was another one I don't know if I named. Quincy Wiggins last year took a red shirt because of his injuries. I'm kind of curious to see maybe if someone does this year. Because look, obviously they're not going to use 15 guys on the defensive line this year.
Well, at least
14, 15 guys.
I think that'll make major impact. Like you're definitely 3 to 4 deep.
Yeah. You're gonna get to
about that's Zach, 14 guys.
In all reality, with the group, Zach, we're gonna get to about 9, 10 guys that you're using. I mean, kind of like basketball. You when it gets real, you got like 8 guys, 8, 9 guys. That's what it's gonna be like with the defensive line. And I'm kind of curious to see, eligibility wise, who is used and how that is used. Because if you use like Jackson Howard and Deshaun Womack too much, which I think Deshaun Womack is going to play this year. I don't think he's going to redshirt, but like maybe there's a potential for a redshirt for somebody like Howard if it's not his time yet, if he needs a year to grow and build and mature, because there's so much. Like I'm kind of curious to see how they work out eligibility in that way. So.